Sweet. That sounds like
Good morning, Stephanie.
Hi.
Rosie.
Hi, Tidman. How are you?
I'm good. I don't think I've ever met you before, Rosie.
No, not personally. I don't think so.
I need to pay you guys a visit eventually and see how you guys are
Yes,
doing.
you gotta come
Yep.
out.
Where's the office, Steph?
It's in Cerritos.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm trying to fix my camera, guys. I have no idea why it's showing up like that. Let's see if Rosie can help. So we're just gonna wait like give it a couple minutes, right? Just to get some people to log on. Welcome, Rosanna, Noel. We've got Akisha, welcome. Oh, that's probably what it is. Okay, cool. Can we turn it like this? Uh-huh. Does it turn all the way? Sure. All right, guys, I'm gonna get the presentation going here. Welcome, Tanya. Does that work? Okay, we were having technical difficulties with my camera. It was acting up, but we're here. So what's up, guys? Thank you guys for joining us. I want to welcome two past clients, Tanya and Rosanna. Thank you guys for being here. They're also in the process of getting their license, so they're always here to support, and I really appreciate them. So I'm gonna get started, guys. I am recording this, so it will be on our YouTube channel. If anybody misses it, or if you guys think it'll be valuable for any other people that didn't get a chance to join us today, then just connect with me after, and I'll go ahead and send you guys the link. So let's get started here. And if you guys have any questions or want to introduce yourselves, please do it in the chat. I have Rosie here, who's part of my team, and she's going to be helping me with the back channel and kind of, navigating through any questions that come about. So it's a very engaging webinar. If at any time you guys have questions, you guys can stop me and say, hey, Steph, can you explain that? I'm really going to try to simplify the process for you guys. And then I'm going to hand it off to Martin, who's one of my preferred lenders, and he's going to go over basically your first step, right? So before I get started, a little bit about me. I'm an ADU consultant, strategist. I'll touch a little bit on what ADUs are. I'm also a podcast host and a realtor. So I have a real estate team. It's called GG Investments, and that's my Instagram there. That's where I cultivate a lot of the community that I have, and where I get most of my business from is from Instagram. So if you guys can follow me there, we can keep connecting. We're going to talk about all these 8 steps. And again, I'm going to really try to simplify the process for you guys. So we'll be talking about developing the mindset of a buyer or investor, right? And how this is really a mindset game. So you first have to see it, you know, and believe it before you actually get there, right? Instead of like, our job is going to be to set stepping stones for you guys to really help you and get everything together. So to put you in a good position to become a buyer or investor or both. Number 2, I'll touch a little bit on why it's important to get pre-approved, but this is what Martin's going to really talk about in detail, right, for you guys and give you different options. I'm just going to kind of highlight what are the popular financing options out there and then just touch on that. I'm also going to talk about team structure, right? Who it is that you need on your team when you're looking to buy a home. I'm going to talk about finding the right home and then what happens after you get your offer accepted, right? Like what is the timeline of events and what should you expect? And which takes me to the clarity calendar. I created that calendar to really help you simplify it once again, streamline everything. And I'm all about setting expectations. So it really helps, you know, keeping that clarity calendar in front of you guys at all times. And then I'll talk about how you guys can schedule a consultation with us, case studies, and a few announcements because I do webinars monthly. I have meetups and events and things like that. So a little bit about GG Investments. GG Investments is a real estate group. I've been in real estate for a while now. And we're here to service families, right, with all their real estate needs and ADU leads. So whatever it is that you guys need help with, we're literally here as the team to help you guys in that goal and really simplify the process. As I stated earlier, we've had the opportunity to help over 500 families in the greater Los Angeles area. So it's been amazing. You know, I shout out to all my clients who trust us. And here's my team, guys. So Rosie's here with me, Steph, and Nibia. And I don't know if this is bothering you guys, if you guys can see like who's on the chat, but a little bit about my background. I've been in the real estate industry for the last 10 years. I have a lot of property management experience, HOA experience, and then recently started niching down into ADUs, which is our, you know, accessory dwelling units. So that's a little bit about my background. As far as the team goes, I wanted to always share like what is our mission and value, because this is what really sets the tone when you guys work with a team like us, right? We definitely hold you accountable when you say that, you know, you've already shifted your mindset into, hey, I'm ready to become a homeowner or an investor. We hold you accountable to it, right? We're going to set you up for success. We're going to be super transparent with you. We have integrity. My job is always to do the best thing for the person, the right thing for the buyer, right? And looking out for them. And then dope vibes. And what that means is really being in alignment with each other and making sure that you actually trust what I do. And that, you know, my job is to really make it smooth for you and fun. It doesn't have to be stressful to buy a home. It really should be something that you can navigate through like a walk in the park. And that's why you would hire somebody like us, right, to kind of simplify it for you. So that's a little bit about that. As far as financing, getting pre-approved is your first step, guys. If you guys are thinking about buying this year, next year, whatever your time frame is looking like, even if it's 6 months, 8 months, I tell my clients you want to get pre-approved now because you want to know where you stand now so you can set up a game plan for the future, right? And so what are some of the popular loans out there that I want you to become familiar with so that when Martin comes in and he talks about it, you kind of already heard it. So a lot of the popular products out there are FHA, right? VA, conventional, DSCR, and down payment assistance. There's a whole bunch of other loan products, but I'll tell you guys that these are the most popular ones when it comes to traditional financing, and obviously non-traditional as well. But I'm not going to spend too much time on this slide because that's what Martin is here for. So he can really break it down for us. He's the numbers guy, not me. All right, cool. So team structure. So when you're going to buy a home, just like everything, you know, you're going to need a solid team. And the best way to create a team is through relationships, right? So a lot of people will go to, everybody here knows a real estate agent, right? But it's the relationship that you have with that agent and what relationships does that agent bring to the table, right? So I have a lot of solid like lenders, and there's a whole bunch of other people that are part of that team. But to highlight who you're going to need is a good lender, and that lender needs to be in sync with that real estate agent, right? And they have to make sure that they're communicating well with you and with everybody else throughout the process. So it's very important that both people that you choose to work with, both realtor and lender, are actually communicating and have done some work in the past. That really helps set the tone. There's a lot of variables that happen during the purchase of a home that we don't have control over. So we want to make sure we have as much control as possible. So I always tell my clients, if they don't have a lender, let's get them pre-approved with my lender. Obviously, you always want to get 2 or 3 estimates if you want to, and quotes, but make sure that you work with somebody that is in alignment, because that's what's going to get you to the finish line, right? You also may need a consultant. I do consulting services for ADUs. And what an ADU is an accessory dwelling unit. So when people want to buy a home, they may want to convert the garage. And I have another webinar happening on the 20th for that. So, you know, I also really dive deep into that, and I have my own presentation on what that process looks like. And so that I can also help you with that. Now, so hold on. There you go. I'm like, I skipped one. So finding the right home, right? You, first of all, I talked about team structure. So you want to get with a realtor, whoever that realtor is, will most likely have a lender that works with them. They work hand in hand. So whatever realtor you trust or whatever lender you trust, vice versa, you've got your team now. Now you want to start looking at homes. You know, you've got pre-approved, you know what your options are, you're ready to go. You start looking for homes, start shopping around with your realtor, start negotiating offers. And then once you actually get your offer accepted, now what, right? Now the fun part starts. And so I'm going to go over this clarity calendar that I created a while back to really help simplify it for my clients, because I feel like the calendar literally gives you a lot of clarity. So here's the calendar. Usually a sale from the time that you get the offer accepted to the time you close is generally 30 days. Sometimes you can get it closed in 21 days, maybe even sooner. It all depends on the financing, but generally speaking, 30 days, right? So what happens during those 30 days from the moment you get the offer accepted? Well, you have 2 to 3 days to do your initial deposit, right? And usually your initial deposit is about 1 to 3% of the purchase price. So for example, if you're buying a house at 500,000 times 3%, we're looking at 15,000, right? So more or less somewhere around those lines for your initial deposit. That happens on day 3, which is why I have it on the calendar here. You have 72 hours from the day that you have your offer accepted to deposit that money. Now, that same week, you're also getting disclosures. The sellers who you're buying the property from have 7 days to disclose anything about the property that they may know about, right? And I review these disclosures before you sign off on them. And what I look for are, you know, unpermitted structures, because if your plan is to build an ADU, that may be a red flag, right? Because if you have unpermitted structures, you may have to tear that down. If there's any rehab that's been done, if there's any deaths that have occurred in the last 3 years, basically anything that the seller wants to disclose, they disclose it on these disclosures. I go over them with you, and if everything looks good, we move forward. We move forward onto our home inspection. During the home inspection, I have several home inspectors that I refer to you, but you can use your own inspector if you have somebody that you trust, right? Going back to relationships, you want to work with somebody that you know is looking out for your best interests and that are going to be just super transparent with the inspection. Now, a lot of the homes here in LA and Orange County and Riverside County are pretty older homes. So you can't expect to have a clean report. Expect to have some repairs and some upgrades that are considered. But we want to look at major things, right? Like plumbing, electrical, roof, foundation, the most expensive things. And my job is to negotiate repairs for you during that period based on the inspection report. And that's what I'll use as leverage to negotiate for any repairs or credit. And by credit, I mean money, right? So now you're in home inspection. If you guys want to write this down just to highlight some of the things that you're going to come across as far as cost. So I talked about the initial deposit that happens week 1. The home inspection is going to be between $450 to $550. They go based off of the square footage of the home, so it really just depends. And there may be some add-on features, right? Like if the property has a pool or you have a septic tank, it might be an additional fee, you know, so $75, $80 additional. You're going to pay that to the home inspector. So if you were to, and I'll talk about if you were to cancel, you will not get your money back on the inspection and the appraisal, because these two fees are going to third-party vendors that are just coming to do their job, do their inspection and evaluation, and then they're going about their day, right? So they're not, if you decide you want to cancel throughout escrow, they're not going to come back and give you a refund. So just keep that in mind. Now, the appraisal, whenever you're going to whenever you're going to finance a property, which is usually everyone, guys, like not, you know, you don't really see a lot of cash buyers out there. And if you do, they're most likely buying off market or wholesale deals. So generally speaking, you're always going to have an appraisal. And it's a very important event that happens throughout the deal, because when you're financing a property, whatever you offered, that property has to come in at value, right? And if it doesn't, then we have to negotiate that. But who dictates that value? It's the appraiser, right? And that appraiser is going to be scheduled through the lender that you choose to work with. That AMC company will schedule an appraiser to go out there. We're not present on the buyer side. We're not present for the appraisal, just to avoid any conflict of interest. He goes out there, he does his evaluation. It takes about a day or two for us to get it back, if not a little bit longer. But that appraisal you will have to pay for, and that's about $450 to $750. I mean, sorry, $500 to $750. I've seen up to $1,200 in some cases. You know, when the market was like crazy a couple months ago, I've had buyers who have paid a lot. So I would say, you know, taking into consideration the inspection and the appraisal, that's about another $1,000 on top of your initial deposit. Now, the good thing is, other than those two, if you wanted to add a termite guy, a sewer inspection, any inspector, you have 17 days, right, to do all your inspections. So if you add on any other inspections, then you can add on more costs to that. But generally, add about another $1,000 for home inspection and appraisal combined. Now the next, and that's it. Like, those are really the only fees that you have. Other than that, you'll do your final deposit as we get closer to closing. But those are the main ones. Now you have 17 days to do all of your inspections. And what happens on day 17 is if you sign off on what's called the contingency removal, which I've never had a buyer lose out on their deposit, you know, because I wouldn't let you sign off on this until this, and this checks out, right? And so what that means is, when you're signing off on the contingency removal, you're agreeing and saying that, hey, whatever the sellers came back with, I'm good with. You know, it's checked out, the inspection's great, or we negotiated repairs, all that's great. The evaluation came in at value, or it didn't, and we negotiated, but we're good. Like, you're basically saying all things have been cleared out, so we're ready to move forward, and we're basically all in, right? So once you sign that form, there's about a week and a half of Martin doing his magic and talking to the underwriter and going back and forth and asking for documents. So be prepared to have all your documents gathered together, right? Because the quicker you get back to the lender, the quicker the lender gets back to the underwriter, the processor, and vice versa. There's a lot of people involved, that the quicker you have everything, the better it is for everyone. And it's going to give you a much better experience as well, right? So after you've removed contingencies, that happens. And usually I like to do the final walkthrough 2 to 3 days before you get keys, just so we don't have any surprises, right? I've tried doing it like maybe a week beforehand, but it's too soon. Sometimes these properties will not be cleaned, or the sellers didn't move out, or whatever, you know, whatever the reason is. So we'll do a final inspection. There's really just you and myself and anybody else that you want to bring on to the inspection. But what we're going to check for is making sure that the property is in good standing, like it was when you first saw it. And and or number two, that any repairs that we negotiated during this period, that they've been done, right? So if we agree to, hey, give me a new roof repair or fix the fascia board or whatever, that when we go on this day, we actually take pictures and make sure that, hey, this is good to go. We sign off on a VP form, which is called the final walkthrough form. You're verifying that the property is good and you're ready to go. So you sign that off. And then a day before closing, you're gonna fund the rest of the deposit, right? So I had mentioned that using the example of a $500,000 home, your initial deposit could be between 10 to 15,000, but whatever is left over, that will go towards your deposit along with whatever is remaining. Does that make sense? So your last deposit will be done on this day, and you'll have escrow who you're gonna go to and wire those funds to. You get a wiring instruction number, which is the same wiring info that you received the initial time. And again, we're walking you through all this. Like, I have my TC who's emailing you every week, reminding you of what's going to happen next. So that way it's just all clear, right? Clear as day. You're 2-3 steps ahead and you know what's going to happen next. So once you make your final deposit and you sign off on that same day, you sign off on the final loan documents in person at the escrow office, or if you want them to go to your property or wherever you live, you can also schedule a mobile notary. And we have a couple here. Rosana is a mobile notary, Steph as well. So, you know, you can schedule appointments and have them sign those documents. Once it's signed here in LA County, you fund one day and then you record the next day. Maybe sometimes we could do a special recording where we do both in one day. But for the most part, you fund one day, record the next. And what I mean by recording is that now, you know, the county clerk's office has received title and it's officially been recorded that you are now the owner of this property. And that's it, guys. Like, that's how quickly things happen from the time that you get the offer accepted to the time that you get keys. 30 days. And as you guys can see, there's a lot that's happening during that time. So really getting yourself prepared to this time is the most important thing. Once you're in escrow, things move fairly quickly. I did want to say that worst case scenario, let's say the inspection happens, the appraisal happens, the disclosures, and for some reason you just don't feel good about this property, then you have 17 days to cancel and get your initial deposit back, right? And you just simply cancel. You give them a reason as to why. It could be because of the inspection, appraisal, whatever. And I've had cancellations as well. So don't be afraid to take action and go in there, get an offer accepted. You have a lot of things that cover you and protect you as a buyer to really help you do your due diligence before you move forward, right? And so that's why these timeline of events are super important, because I want you guys to put that in perspective. You have opportunities to back out if this isn't the right deal, right? And you just simply back out and move on to the next. So with that, here's a few client testimonials of people that we've helped, you know, and them sharing their experience with us. And you guys can follow them on Instagram. Brisa, for example, she had, and she doesn't mind me sharing this story, but she didn't have the best credit and it took her a while to get her credit up, right? Once she got her credit up, she was also at the same time building a business. So now she has 3 tax offices. She bought a home in Bixby Knolls. She built an ADU and she's looking to buy another duplex. But it took her a year to get her credit up, right? So you see these stories and you think that things happen like this, and they don't. You've got to make sure that you're just putting yourself in a good position. But she did a good job of, you know, getting herself prepared like within a year's worth of time, right? And she took action on what the credit specialist told her to do, what my lender told her to do. She was just open to being guided, right? Because we do this day to day. Ray and Daniela, they went to high school with me. I've sold them 2 homes. I sold them one in Moreno Valley. And then 2-3 years later, they decided they wanted to upgrade. I sold them another in Menifee, and they've sent me a ton of clients. So super grateful for them. And Sophia and Axel, I actually met them through Instagram. I sold them a house in Linwood, and they were like one of my favorite couples to work with, because just as it is important for you guys to find somebody to work with as a realtor, we also want to work with people that really trust what we do for business, right? And that we're really here to simply guide you and make it a fun experience for all of us, right? And so it is a free charge to you. I want you guys to know that when you're buying a property, you are not paying for my commission. I get paid through the sellers. The listing agent's commission is split with mine, right? And so it's a free service for you, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword because it's free. There's some agents that don't really go out there and don't go the extra mile to really look out for you, and then there's others that we're in this for the long run, and to really build solid relationships for our clients and be there, because it doesn't just end there. I talk to these people a couple times a year, maybe more often than not on Instagram, but I'm constantly like, hey, this is how much equity you have now. Maybe it's a good time to refi. Maybe it's a good time to do this. Maybe it's a good time to build an ADU. Like it's we don't just sell a house and then we're done. It's a ongoing relationships. So think about that, right? How you guys can get in touch with us. You can go to stepsalesadu.com. I have everything on there where you guys can schedule an ADU consultation, a buyer consultation. You guys will see all the webinars that we have. Here's my Instagram pages. The ADU Play talks about a lot of educational content on ADUs, and GG Investments is the real estate team one. I have everything on YouTube. I also have the podcast, and I have a book for realtors. This one's for realtors on ADUs. So that I just kind of throw it out there too for any realtors that are here, because I know we have a couple. Yeah, Noel's a realtor. So let me know and I can hook you up with that book. And so here's the book. There's a YouTube channel. Here's where you can schedule appointments with me. This was the webinar that we had today. That's the podcast. And what else? I do have a meetup coming up March 2nd in Los Alamitos, which is down the street from my office. And I would highly encourage you guys to come. I'm going to be talking about investments and ADUs, but that'll be a good opportunity for us to meet in person and kind of see where you stand, right? And yeah, and that's pretty much it, guys. I hope that this was like really simplified, and that you guys found value. I'm going to hand it over to Martin, because everything that I just talked about was awesome, right? And it's great, but you can't get there until you are pre-approved. And he's going to really break it down for us and simplify it as well, because that's how we work. And so help me welcome Martin Mejia.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me?
You're
Steph?
good. We can hear you.
Oh, you can.
Yes.
Let me see if I can get onto the.
Oh, wait, let me add you as.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen if I don't add you as a co-host. Okay, you should be good now. And if you guys want to ask any questions, I'll be reading the chat for Martin. Any financing questions, let me know.
Hold on, Steph. Let me try this. Awesome. Can you guys hear me? Yes, good. So welcome everybody. Hopefully you guys' day is going good. As mentioned from Stephanie, I'm the actual lender. So I've been doing lending services for quite some time now. Been working at 1781 now. We moved over from JMJ Finance over to 1781, our own company now. So been excited with the process, kind of walking families through their home buying process. So this is not our first rodeo, but we're definitely happy to kind of guide you guys through that stepping stone as far as getting you guys pre-approved, what that looks like. I wanted to keep the process pretty straightforward and simple, just to kind of get you guys, this is a first-time home buyer webinar. So it's primarily targeting first-time home buyers. We definitely, as Stephanie mentioned, we have over 20 to 25 different loan options, from your heavy investor, which is your DSCR program. We have a asset depletion program, but this is more focused on the first-time home buyer experience, getting them started and what it really takes to navigate through that process. So let me see if I can share my screen with you guys, and then that way we can kind of get you guys navigated through kind of what it takes, right, to get you guys home buying ready. Okay. Give me a thumbs up, you guys, if you guys can see what my screen looks like. Uh, let's see here. Can you see the screen, guys? Hold on.
Yes.
You guys can see, and I don't think I can. Let's see here. So this is getting you guys pre-approved, what it really takes to get you guys started as far as the buying process. We're going to talk about a few different kind of scenarios that play out as far as a first-time home buyer, possibly what somebody that's self-employed looks like, and then also navigating through like an investor as well. But basically, in a nutshell, if you're self-employed, what do we look for as far as documentation? So most self-employed people will be looking at maybe some tax returns, maybe some driver's license, uh, probably the 401k. 401ks are really good because it kind of allows us to let you guys know that we can use your 401k to kind of tap into that space to be able to get, you know, a signature loan, a loan against your 401k to be able to kind of assist you guys with the closing costs, your down payment, a lot of that stuff. A lot of clients that we come across really don't know that you can actually tap into any investments you have to be able to kind of use that for your down payment, your closing costs, a lot of that stuff as you move forward. Okay. Some of the other documents for a first-time home buyer, this is kind of where I wanted to touch bases on with you guys. If you guys are in the market as a first-time home buyer, what program best fits you? Is it an FHA product through our Federal Housing Administration? Is it a conventional loan? I think a lot of people really don't know that you can actually get a conventional loan as low as 3% down payment. Most first-time home buyers think they can just go right into FHA, which is amazing. But that's more if you have a good FICO score, let's go right into an actual conventional loan product. That's going to get you guys to save in two different areas. Number one, it's going to save you on a PMI standpoint that for your monthly mortgage insurance, it's going to drop that number substantially when you start comparing it to an FHA loan product. And then on top of that, it's going to save you down the road where you don't necessarily need to refinance as you would FHA into a conventional loan. Since we're definitely starting right into the conventional loan product, it's going to save you guys down the road anywhere between $6,000 to about $9,000 by just starting off the gate in the conventional loan product. Okay. So what are some of the things we're going to look for as far as a first-time home buyer documentation? You know, the W-2 forms are generally what we use to kind of see what the history of your, you know, income has been in the past 2 years. We're probably going to be asking for the last 30 days of pay stub, a copy of your driver's license, and obviously the last 2 months of bank statements, along with any investments, any 401ks, any of that that you guys might have. Okay. And that's kind of what gets you guys started. It starts off with the application. Within the application, it's going to ask you guys for some documents that we'll need. And those are generally, from a self-employed standpoint, your tax documents for the past 2 years, some bank statements, and then W-2s for your W-2 employee, maybe an hourly employee. And then what does an investor look like? Well, an investor, as Stephanie had mentioned earlier, an investor could be somebody that's already has experience, either flipping properties. You know, what does that look like to them? Is it a DSCR, which is your debt service coverage ratio? Just in a base, quick nutshell, what is a DSCR product? That basically, as long as we can cover the rents by $1 that covers your mortgage, then we're good to go. We can get you guys financed in that space. DSCR loan products, you guys, are generally a little higher on interest rate when you start comparing them to your conventional loan products, maybe your FHA, but definitely a good way to kind of get in the market as an investor with really as low, introduction pricing as far as that goes. Okay. We're going to be asking for the last 2 years of tax returns, copy of your driver's license, and probably running a quick credit report. Other than that, outside of that, we should be fine financing DSCR products for investors. And then some other things that we'll look for, right, is, the pre-approvals. We'll look at credit as being a big part of the approval process. We're looking at capital as well. Generally, they'll let us know, again, how much money we have to be able to have in the game. We call that skin in the game. The higher the down payment, the better the terms are going to be as far as getting you guys pre-approving those numbers. And then collateral. What is collateral? The collateral market, generally we're financing a set amount for the bank, and the collateral is going to be your house. So the better condition the house is, the better the terms are going to be. And then the character. The character comes down to your credit, right? What kind of credit is established in the past? What kind of trending credit you guys have now going forward? That's exactly what's going to help us navigate you guys through the process as far as getting you guys pre-approved and a lot of that stuff. Okay. And again, I think going on to some of this stuff, it's really important for you guys to know that, we're going to be able to navigate you guys through the buying process when it comes to getting you guys pre-approved. A lot of that stuff happens pretty quick. So just give us an opportunity to kind of get your guys' opportunity window there, and definitely help you guys in that space for sure. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? I hear a lot of nods. Okay. I'll go ahead and send you guys my information as far as where you guys can reach me. I thought I had it in one of these slides, but I'm in a little problem as far as navigating through that. But let's see if I can get it in there.
Maybe we can type in what's your 10K card in here in the chat.
Yeah, let me get that.
Yeah, we both have the same digital card platform, so it makes it much easier for you guys to follow him on there and then schedule an appointment. We can also schedule one together, so kind of recapping what I went over today and then meeting with Martin together. That way we're all, like, once again on the same page to really help facilitate and streamline the entire process for you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie. I mean, I'm having a little bit of issues finding the true actual slideshow, which had all that stuff already on there. But let me see if I can type in the chat group here.
Yeah, and give them your Instagram. That way they can actually follow you on there, because he puts a lot of good, valuable information every week, that really just like little short videos that, you start becoming more familiar with the terminology, and that's going to give you the confidence. Like he threw out, PMI, what does that mean? Your mortgage insurance, loan to value, LTV, DTI. It's a lot of acronyms that may become overwhelming, but if you just follow him, you start becoming more, just more knowledgeable in the space and the terminology. And now, like, okay, this is what I need to line up for myself, right? Credit, what's a good credit? Somewhere around 680 or more. So if you don't think you're at a 680 or more, you can still reach out to us. Martin has the ability to do what's called a simulator, where he can look at, what debts you can pay off that may offset or help increase your credit score without having to go to a credit specialist, right? And now you just have to follow those guidelines, and he'll guide you as to what you need to do, what accounts should be paid off, for you to be ready within the next 3 to 6 months or whatever your guys' goals are, right?
Yeah, thanks, Steph. Yeah, there's a lot of information that I kind of put on social media for you guys as well. Generally, I'm committed to about 156 videos a year, and a lot of it is there's a series of digital videos where it's pretty geared towards clients and just kind of hacking, the lending space as far as a client, as far as some of the things that they probably don't know, as far as gift of funds, maybe omitting some of your debt liabilities if you have 10 payments or less on a car note. So there's a bunch of wealth of knowledge, and I just attached my 10K card on the chat. But I would suggest, yeah, it's a good opportunity for you guys to visit it, and then just look at the videos. I also do for the realtors that are on this webinar. I do mortgage monthly or weekly mortgage updates every Thursday, just to kind of get you guys an idea of where the actual rates are at from an FHA, VA, conventional standpoint. And then that way you guys can share that content with your clients in case you guys have clients that are asking you guys, hey, what are the interest rates today? Have they gone up? The Federal Reserve Bank met last week. What did it do to the rates? So there's a lot of good information on my social media platform, and I like to keep it there now. I used to text every agent, but it was just a little more, time consuming. But I felt that, let's put this on a social platform and allow not only clients, but, realtor spaces and partners as well. That way they can check that stuff out, is for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Martin. Well, if you guys, I think maybe we'll hang around for just a couple more minutes to answer any questions, or if you guys want to share a little bit before we wrap up, and I'll just quickly go through Noel, Rosie, Tanya, Rosana, what are some of your guys' goals and how can we help you guys, right? Whether it's business or whether it's to get pre-approved, like how can we be a service to you guys, and what do you guys feel you guys need help with right now? So maybe we could start off with Rosana, Tanya. Rosie's here with me, so I'll bring her in when she comes back, and then Noel, and then we'll wrap up. I just quickly want to hear like your guys' input. Also any feedback. We're always open to feedback because our goal is to really simplify it. So yeah, thanks guys. So we'll start off with you, Rosana, who made me some bomb ceviche, by the way, yesterday.
Yes, hi everybody. Nice to see everyone. So first of all, thank you guys for doing this, providing all this information and insight for us. Me being a homeowner really opened my eyes to owning more property, and definitely like you reiterating the process and Martin going through the loan, process. It's refreshing, and but in the future I do see myself owning more like, rental properties, so that way I can leave those properties to my kids and they can either sell in the future or continue renting, or using the mortgage or whatever they can as some income for them to help them out. But yeah, definitely that's something that my husband and I both want to get into, is just owning properties, investment properties.
Yeah, I would definitely connect with Martin. I think both of you guys should connect, at least to have him assess where you're at now, right? Because you bought that home a couple of years ago, and I know you have some equity, but maybe not now, but maybe in a year from now, like how can you leverage it, right? And how can you get to that next door or 2 doors or 3 doors? And so in connecting, and then since you're getting your license too, you definitely want to connect with somebody like Martin. When I have a buyer who wants to get pre-approved, I put them on a group chat and he knows what to do. And I don't have to, like, I already know how he works too, right? And so he'll give them the same breakdown and then come back to me and connect, and now we're all on the same page, right? But I think definitely do that just so you can have clarity, and that way you and Alex know, like, okay, what's the game plan, for the next 6 to 12 months, and how can I get another door if that's the goal, right? So I appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Sure, thank you. I'll go ahead and give Martin a follow too. So
yeah, definitely follow him.
Okay.
What about you, Tanya? What's going on? Thanks for always showing support.
So as we were going through this, it's kind of like a refresher for me because, I kind of saw the inside with Charlie and Christian and like the whole process. But yeah, the goal this year is to get another property, a rental property. And so that's where we're at right now. Chris and I were trying to get our stuff together to hopefully by mid-year we'll be able to get something out here in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think definitely you and Chris, you guys already have a couple doors, so adding more, is great, and connecting with Martin for future, clients too, because you're also in the process of getting your license. So
Yeah.
using your case study and yourself as a case study is going to be great, and it's going to be a great transition for you to help other clients build their portfolio too,
Yeah. So
The
thank you for all the great
trickiest part-
information.
No, thank you. You're always plugging in. And honestly, as a realtor, as an investor, I'll tell you guys this. The more you know on financing, the more you'll know how to structure deals for yourself, for your clients, right? I've sat in over 250 consultations. So I know most of the loan products, how their underwriting works, and all that was really from just being part of it and like staying in tune with, with everything. And so but that's helped me a lot in structuring deals or understanding like, okay, what's going to be the best fit for my client, right?
Right.
So yeah, no, definitely let's get you and Rosanna 1 or 2 more doors this year,
Right.
and see how we can set it up and finish the year strong. That would be super.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
cool.
right. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Awesome. Well, Rosie's not back. Noel, what's up? How's it going? Thanks for hanging out.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? So I'm not too good at the Zoom stuff. Let me see if I can figure out how to turn on the. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. I just recently got my license, and I think I kind of started backwards. My whole goal with getting the license was to become an investor. I wanted to start buying rental property, and I kind of talked to Steph a little bit about my story. And my family were immigrants from Mexico. I came out here to build a better life, and I remember seeing my dad wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and he's been at the same job for 25, 30 years, and he was able to basically provide, and my mom as well. So my grandfather began to buy real estate out in like Riverside County. And I just kind of saw the power, and he passed away 10 years ago due to cancer, but I saw how he was basically building generational wealth. And before that became like a thing. And that's something that I want for myself, and something that I want to why I feel so passionate about this business and the industry, not just to help other people, but I started to see that, there was realtors, a lot of people out there that focus more on the transaction part. So like I said, I was learning about bigger pockets. I heard about house hacking, and then I slowly started to see small multifamily 2 to 4 units, and then I discovered ADUs, and I just kind of took my time trying to look for a broker or a realtor. And that's when I came across Steph's page, and I saw that she really focused in on the ADU opportunity. And I thought, what a creative way to kind of make it work here in California, because all you hear is that it's too expensive, you can't afford it. And
Right.
that's what I get passionate about that. So I'm just trying to learn as much as I can. As far as the realtor, I still don't really know how to even write an offer or anything like that, but I know that's going to come with time. And I think it's cool how Steph has her business, how she connects with a bunch of people, and I'm all for it. And I'm excited to be here and excited to learn. And my parents went their house, they recently paid it off, so we're excited about that. And I'm trying to get my dad.
And you're looking to get an ADU, right, for your dad there?
Yeah, trying to do a garage conversion. So we're slowly going through that process, and hopefully that could be like my learning experience, go through that.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you joining us today. I know we're meeting on Wednesday. And I hope that, that hopefully you do come and join our team, because I would be helping you with all of that. And one thing you said at the beginning that stood out was you felt like you started backwards because you got your real estate license before becoming an investor. But honestly, becoming a realtor, an active realtor with the intention of investing and helping investors is really going to help you become an investor, because the beauty of becoming a realtor is that you're tapped into the local market. You're speaking to agents, you're speaking to sellers, you are boots on the ground. So actually realtors know more than the average investor, right? Unless it's a very active investor who's going to meetups and has the relationships. But as a realtor, we have the leverage because we have the relationship and the resources. So after today, you've already walked out with a couple of resources, right? You've got Rosanna and Tanya, past clients of mine. Now they're getting their license. Martin is a lender. You need a lender. And you saw me go over my presentation. You need to start creating a team around you, right? Because you can't do it alone. And the team that you choose to work with is really going to dictate your future. And understanding the financing is going to help you in real estate. It's going to help you as an investor. And it's going to help you in ADUs, because when I started niching down into ADUs, the biggest thing and the biggest issue is financing. So when I start my ADU presentation, I start off the same way as a buyer presentation. What's the first step? You got to get pre-approved. You got to start from there. What does your financing options look like? And then you reverse engineer, right? Because as you said, it's super, a lot of people say that it's not affordable to live here, but it is. You have to get creative with financing, and that's what's going to help you, you know, find the deals. If you don't know how to write contracts, don't worry about it. Like I used to, that's what I used to do, you know, when I was an assistant and managing other teams. So connecting with people like me and my team who are going to help you offset your strengths and weaknesses. With sales and with investing and becoming a realtor, I'll tell you that it's not about the contracts and the disclosures and knowing all the intricacy of the documents. That's important. I'm not saying it's not. But what's really important is how are you connecting with the person? Are we in alignment? Do they trust what I'm doing? Do they trust that I actually have a solid team that's backing me up, that we know what we're doing, right? And so can you connect? I always say that the conversion is in the connection. And so I think I've managed to create a lot of dope relationships, and my clients become friends, and now they're getting their license. Like I'm empowering people to do that as well, right? Because it's just only going to help ourselves grow. If I see them doing well, and sometimes Rosanna and Tanya, we've had these conversations where they feel limited too, right? Because they want to get their license, but they're thinking like, well, I don't know the contracts. I don't know this. I don't know that. And I'm like, but you guys have bought property. So now you're relatable. Like you can use that to your advantage when talking to clients, right? Like this was my process. This is what I went through when it happened to me. Now you've related to the person. And these deals and these clients come from left field. I've made contacts with people that I played co-ed softball with, you know, people in meetups, a lot of Instagram. And a lot of it is because I'm a single mom, you know, so if they see my son, now I've made a genuine connection with other moms. Or you, for example, you connected with me from, you know, because of the ADUs. That's really the main reason why you want to join the team. And I'm here to open up to you and show you my systems and processes. And I think that's what's going to give you the confidence to move forward, right? So I appreciate you sharing your story, and, you know, connect with all of us, connect with Martin. Martin, maybe you can give all three of them, Rosanna, Tanya, and Noel, like, you guys get together and do like, you know, like walk them through how we got Steve pre-approved. What's the process like from A through Z, just to help them, you know, so that way now they feel empowered to go talk to investors. Because whoever you talk to, if they haven't got pre-approved, your first step is to bring them to the office or have them connect with Martin, right? And so him explaining that process to you guys, now you're going to feel confident to go talk to your client and say, hey, when are you ready to meet with my lender? You're going to need XYZ documents, and here's what we need. And if you need help with that, let me know, right? And so then you let him do his thing, but you don't need to know everything. You just need to know how things run, right? So that's really cool. Thank you, Noel. I'll see you on Wednesday for sure. We got Rosie and Steph who are part of my team. And what do you guys need help with, girls? Let me turn off the camera for this one. Just kidding. Let me hide. Because they'll be honest with you guys, you know. But yeah, we're just talking about like takeaways or what, you know, what you guys need help with at the moment. You can go, and then Steph, and then we have Santi who came in. But
I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Well, your ADU that you want to build on your house, maybe
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one that you could share.
I think for the most part, it's just that I'm trying to get my ADU project financed. That's my kind of like my biggest hurdle at the moment. I do have like the space and the city. It's the lot. It's very friendly for the city, but as far as actually getting the project started, like the whole financing, that's gonna, I feel like I have to have someone somewhere creative financing that's gonna help me start doing it. There's a lot of options out there. We just have to kind of grill it down and what's more convenient. I Everything has been like rising in prices, especially the ADUs. Anything in construction, it's very expensive now. So obviously we're gonna have to go through different options and see what's the best for us. But either way, we're very motivated to go and start our project from ground up. So
There you go. Yeah, that's a good one. And I would say that's a little hurdle that she's having is, again, financing ADU projects or financing a home, some of the biggest ones. But one thing that we did start doing, Rosie and I, is working with investors, and we have a deal analyzer that was gifted to us, and I can share it with you guys. And this would work for a single family home or multifamily investors. Sometimes we don't have to only sell by commission or be transaction, right? As Noel mentioned. How can we become part of the deal? So we have some multifamily investors that we're working with where we can actually bring in sweat equity, meaning, if it's a new investor who has a capital, but they don't know how to invest, well, guess what? Now you're a realtor, you have the knowledge, you have the skill set, and I have management background experience. So I can say, hey, I'll manage the project for you, the investment, I'll run the numbers for you, and I want X amount of that take as well, right? Versus selling them something. Now you became part of the deal. And that is how you become both a realtor and an investor, right? But it comes through relationships. So I can share that with you guys. Just hit me up after this call and I'll forward you guys the deal analyzer. But that's a really good breakdown. So now we'll go over to Steph. Steph, what's up? How's it going?
Hey everyone, how's everyone doing?
Good, good. So Steph's the mobile notary, guys, and she's also part of my team, and her sister is a credit specialist. So we got all the connections.
Actually, as a matter of fact, yeah, we do have a few projects coming up as a twin duo. So we're definitely gonna be doing a lot of videos. And I'm kind of in the same situation as Rosie. We have a 4-car garage that we do want to transition into an ADU eventually. We do own a triplex in LA. And we rent them out. And right now we definitely want to get into the Airbnb space. So we're doing a little bit of research. We want to definitely convert one of the units. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It does have parking, so we want to go ahead and get into the Airbnb space and maximize that unit. So that's our little project for right now. And my sister is also planning on getting her notary license again. So
cool.
that's also in the works. So we have a lot of projects coming soon as a twin duo. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, so that's pretty much my background. And our current hurdle is trying to get into that Airbnb space. We do have a tenant that's on a month-to-month. So we're just trying to learn a little bit more about how we can transition that unit, maybe go for cash for keys and get that started so we can have more income and then, repeat the process pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. Let me know if you need help with that. I don't mind showing up as a middleman on that cash for keys.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll call Tanya and Rosana and we'll all pull up with the notice.
Yeah, so
yeah, you did talk to me about that, which is great. So she has a triplex, guys, and she has a 4-car garage. I went to go see it. So from the 4-car garage, she can add 2 units. So she can make that from a triplex into a 5-plex. And, I would say talk to Martin too, like what would the financing look like after the build out, and is it still considered residential because now it's 5 units, and how can you leverage the ARV? It all comes down to financing once again. So the more we know about financing, that'll also help you structure the Airbnb, which is going to work because you know, Airbnb is what it is. It really 2x, 3x, or even 4x is your long-term rental amount. So yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing that, Steph. So as you guys can see, guys, like they're on the team. Yes, they want to close deals, but we're also trying to figure out how can we invest? How can we grow? How can we build? Right. And we're just navigating both. And then we share space like this and we get creative with it. And then we hold each other accountable with it. So thank you, Steph. I wanted to go lastly to Santi. I noticed you logged in as we were finishing up, as Martin was finishing up his presentation. So I just wanted to give you, you know, a time to introduce yourself, and I'll share the presentation with you. I know you didn't get a chance to see mine, but welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm actually, I believe I messaged you on Instagram and we talked a bit, and I didn't get an opportunity to go on your last presentation. But I purchased my first home about 6 months ago, and I'm already into my 6th mortgage that I've given. I'm actually in the construction industry myself.
Oh, nice.
But I do want to plan on building an ADU in the back. I have a 2-car garage in the back, and I want to see if possibility, you know, I can build a unit and then convert the ADU and also do a JADU within the property itself, within the main house. So I'm just here for the learning process. It's something new to me. I know about architectural design, fire protection, but I do not know about the whole financing, the whole real estate, and how to approach these deals. So that's something that I love, the presentations that you give and how you reach out there to the community and to others to teach them what you already know. And it's just something I want to elaborate on and hopefully feed off of.
Thank you so much. Well, first of all, congrats for, you know, buying your first investment. That's a huge stepping stone. And, you know, I'm here as a resource. I would definitely connect with Martin and connect with me. I have the next ADU Play webinar on the 20th, where I go over the entire presentation and I go through the design phase. You already know the architectural designs, but I also let you know, like, okay, what does the process look like? What do you need besides the architectural designs? You know, your Title 24, your engineering plans as well, and the construction phase. You already have the construction background. But yeah, right, like you have the architectural background, the construction background, you have the knowledge, but it's the financing where we always get stuck, right? So connect with Martin, have him as part of your network now. Now you have my network, you have my team. And I would encourage you to come to the webinar on the 20th. And then I also come to my in-person meetup March 2nd, because that's where I can really connect you with hyper-local architects that you can talk to, get better estimates, timeframes. I don't know what city you're in or where you bought, but you should be able to do a junior ADU and an ADU as long as it's your primary. And I can walk you through that process. I offer consultation services. One of them would be consulting for me to basically give you a rundown on the entire process. And then the second option would be me being involved throughout the whole project. So almost acting as your transaction coordinator for the entire, you know, ADU project, which takes about 8 to 12 months. So yeah, definitely connect with me. I know you said we connected on Instagram, but text me. If I'm gonna put my number on here, if all of you guys can text me, that way I can save your guys' direct number. And just, you know, keep tapping in. Like now you have Noel, who is also, Noel wants to get into investment. I think Santi and Noel should connect, and you can connect with everybody on this call, right? And that's kind of how you start really growing your network and growing your business and growing your portfolio, because it is a business, right? Now, if you want to add a junior ADU and an ADU, you're turning it from 1 door into 3 doors, right? So what is the exit strategy? What's your 5-year game plan? I can help you with all of that and help you determine that, and then just reverse engineer. So really, really appreciate you. And I'll send you the presentation because I know you missed it. And then Martin, maybe you can send it to him.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right, cool. Well, I gotta head out in a bit to go pick up my son from school. Thank you guys so much. This was a solid turnout. You know, it was a very intimate group. And that's what we want. We want to make sure we connect with every single one of you guys and see how we can help you. How can we empower you? And I'll see you guys on the next one. We have these meetups every once a month, right? So so just connect with us on the back channels, connect with Martin. You need a numbers guy on your team, so you guys got one now. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Any
Perfect.
final
Thank you,
thoughts,
Steph.
Martin? You didn't even say, actually.
No, I think this is
Good, huh?
no, this is good. So what I'm getting out of this is there's quite a bit of, people on here that have already kind of started their investment, maneuvering. So it's good. I think this is a good platform. I think going on to mention the fact that when you're connecting with people that you've gone through the buying process, and I think for your new realtors that just recently got licensed, one of the biggest things you can do and you have an advantage is share your experience, right? Hey, you know what? Not only am I selling the American dream, I've gone through the process. I knew that, for me, I've gotten multiple properties under my belt, and that's kind of what I use to leverage. Like, hey, look, let me walk you through this process. Even though it can be daunting and scary, I can walk you through the steps that you need to take. And I can share my experience on some of the things you should avoid because we've already gone through this process, right? So I think that's one of the things you guys could use as leverage to you and your connecting points with new clients, potential clients, or even, some of the vendors that you're vetting. And I think it's important, Stephanie pointed it out, is, make sure that you are working with people that have very high integrity, very high honesty, and they're very transparent, right? If you can do something, awesome. If not, then, just be upfront and honest with the client and other vendors. But thanks for this platform, Stephanie, as always.
No, thank you. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. We'll be doing more of these together, guys, with Martin. So connect with him on the back channel. If you guys want to learn how we work, all you have to do is connect with him and he'll show you the back end. And now you guys know my system and process on the back end for financing, right? So I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys again. And I'll see you guys on IG in a little bit. Make sure you guys tag each other. All right. Peace out, guys. Thanks.